TikTok filters hijacked my life, and now I wake up like a cracked out Sims character. They say TikTok filters are harmless, just a fun little game. Which Disney princess are you? What bread type matches your aura? Cute, right? Wrong. Because here's the thing. Filters aren't innocent anymore. They're not playful little distractions. They're psychological landmines designed to make you rethink every decision you've ever made, while some 14-year-old with ring light money laughs at your downfall. And me, like a fucking idiot, I let TikTok filters control my daily routine for a week. A week. And somewhere around day 2, I realized I wasn't living my life anymore. I wasn't a person. I was a puppet in a hostage video, held captive by an algorithm coded by a sleep-deprived intern, fueled entirely by Celsius energy drinks and regret. Day 1 started innocent. Too innocent. That's how they get you. The filter told me to start the day like the main character, which sounds romantic until you realize it means staring blankly out a rainy window while sipping iced coffee like you're auditioning for a low-budget indie film titled Sad Beige Man. So there I was, dramatically holding my plastic Starbucks cup, fogging up the window, trying to look mysterious. My neighbor waved at me. I waved back like someone who just got told their childhood dog didn't go to a farm upstate, but got smoked by a UPS truck. That's not main character energy, that's therapy appointment energy. Day 2 is where things went downhill faster than Logan Paul's reputation. The filter told me to eat like the vibe check. And apparently my vibe was feral raccoon breaking into a 7-Eleven dumpster at 3 a.m. My breakfast, Flamin' Hot Cheetos and chocolate milk. Let me repeat that. Flamin' Hot Cheetos and chocolate milk. That's not a meal. That's a war crime against my gastrointestinal tract. By 9 a.m., my stomach was staging a protest march. By 10, it was scribbling suicide notes on the inside of my intestines. And don't get me started on lunch. Lunch was a pack of Gushers and a Red Bull, because apparently the filter thought I was auditioning to become a diabetic Sonic the Hedgehog. By dinner, my digestive system was texting me, "We're filing for divorce." Day 3, dress like your enemy. By day 3, my body was weak, but my brain was still stupid enough to keep going. The filter told me to dress like your worst enemy. So I showed up to work in a crop top, neon joggers, and sunglasses shaped like stars. I didn't look like a professional. I looked like a rejected backup dancer for Kids Bop Live. My boss didn't even say anything. He just sighed like, "Yep, we've lost him to TikTok. Another casualty of Gen Z internet culture." And honestly, I deserved that silence, because nothing screams employable adult like walking into a meeting dressed like you're about to drop an EDM single called Crypto Love Affair. Day 4, the horoscope cult initiation. Day 4, the filter told me to act like your star sign. I'm a Gemini, which apparently meant I spent the entire day gaslighting myself into thinking I had a personality. I answered emails in 2 different tones. I argued with myself in the car. I even ordered lunch twice because my other twin was hungry. By noon, my coworkers were whispering, "Do we need to call HR, or is this just his thing now?" You ever push something too far? Like you think it's just a little experiment and suddenly it's full-on psychological warfare? Yeah, that was me by the end of this TikTok filter stunt. Day 5, the filter's prompt popped up like it was delivering a royal decree. Hydrate like an aesthetic queen. And apparently to TikTok, hydration means drinking a gallon of cucumber water in under an hour while pretending to be the cover of a Goop magazine. By 10 a.m., I wasn't hydrated. I was self-waterboarding. My bladder wasn't functioning anymore. It had filed a complaint with HR. I could hear my kidneys muttering, "What the actual fuck are we doing?" At one point, I swear my stomach growled in a British accent like it was narrating its own demise. And this is how he died. Not with a bang, but with a cucumber-flavored whimper. My coworkers kept asking, "Why do you look like a human water balloon?" Because I was. I was sloshing. I was one step away from turning into a burst pipe in the middle of the office. Day 6, the filter commanded, "Move like your spirit animal." Now, normal people get wolves or eagles, something majestic. Not me. I got a pigeon. A fucking pigeon. So picture me, an adult with bills and a dental plan, flapping my arms and strutting around Target, cooing near the frozen peas like a government experiment gone wrong. I looked like someone who lost a bet with a furry convention. A kid asked his mom if I was broken. And honestly, the answer was yes. My knees hurt. My dignity left my body. I found myself pecking at a sample of hummus like it was breadcrumbs. Security didn't stop me because, frankly, no one wants to touch whatever that is. And this wasn't even the weirdest part. The weirdest part was that halfway through, I started to believe I was a pigeon. I caught myself eyeing the automatic doors like, could I fly through those if I tried? Day 7, romanticize cleaning or perform an exorcism. Day 7, the grand finale. The filter, my digital tormentor, told me to romanticize cleaning. Sounds wholesome, right? Wrong. In practice, that meant blasting Lana Del Rey while scrubbing my toilet with rose petals and crying into a $15 scented candle. I didn't look like a person. I looked like an exorcism sponsored by Bath and Body Works. If a priest had walked in, he would have just left holy water and backed out slowly. The rose petals dissolved. My tears mixed with Comet. My bathroom smelled like heartbreak and bleach. I wasn't cleaning. I was staging a Victorian seance for my dignity. And that's when my body finally gave up. My body staged a coup. My reflection, it didn't even show up anymore. The mirror fogged up and spelled out, seek help. My digestive system unionized. My kidneys were on strike. My dignity filed for divorce and took custody of my self-respect. I sneezed and my Fitbit congratulated me for intense cardio. My cat watched me like I was a horror movie. My neighbor started referring to me as the TikTok thing in her group texts. I'd reached the point where even my own cells were sending resignation letters. TikTok, the puppet master, and TikTok just kept spitting filters at me like dance monkey dance. Every time I refreshed, there was a new prompt. Romanticize your breakfast. Cry like an aesthetic baddie. Do 17 squats to this sped up audio of someone sobbing. It wasn't a self-care routine. It was a digital hazing ritual disguised as self-improvement. By the end, I wasn't living my best life. I was living my last life, like a cat who'd already burned through 8 of them and was now limping through the 9th wearing star-shaped sunglasses. The breaking point wasn't even dramatic. It was subtle. I woke up on day 8 because, yes, I stupidly kept going, and my phone's Face ID didn't recognize me. My own phone looked at me like, I don't know who you are, but get out of my house. I opened TikTok and the filter said, dance like nobody's watching, and my body whispered, no. It wasn't a refusal. It was a resignation, like my limbs were saying, we're out. Good luck. I sat down on my kitchen floor, surrounded by crystals, empty LaCroix cans, and rose petals, and realized I had become a cautionary tale. The lesson. Here's the thing about TikTok filters. They don't make you aesthetic. They make you clinically insane. They take normal people with normal lives and turn them into cracked out Sims characters, performing glitchy little routines for strangers online. They lure you in with soft music and pastel fonts, and then bam, you're cooing at frozen peas, crying into a candle, and voluntarily waterboarding yourself with cucumber juice. I thought I was becoming that girl. You know, the effortlessly cool, organized, aesthetic influencer who drinks green smoothies and has a linen wardrobe. Instead, I became the kind of broken where your therapist starts taking notes for a podcast. Even now, my body hasn't forgiven me. My bladder twitches every time it sees a cucumber. My knees click whenever I hear cooing. My bathroom smells permanently like floral bleach trauma. I can't look at a TikTok filter without flinching. My friends don't ask, how are you anymore? They ask, are you still doing the thing? Like I joined a cult. And honestly, I did. TikTok filters are a cult. Except instead of chanting in robes, you're just sitting cross-legged in your bathroom at 2 a.m., whispering affirmations into a LaCroix can. The takeaway. So, yeah, I let TikTok filters control my routine, and now I'm broken. Not quirky, not fun. Broken. Broken in the way that makes your mom send you wellness podcast links. Broken in the way your therapist says, let's unpack this, and then closes her notebook slowly. Broken in the way strangers cross the street when they see you coming because you look like you've been cursed by a very stylish witch. Here's my unsolicited advice. Do not let TikTok filters run your life, because you won't become aesthetic. You won't become the main character. You'll become a cryptid, a meme, a pigeon man haunting Target.